Listen here students, so this is chemistry class number 35 and today I am going to take this extraction of copper from cuprous oxide using ED. What is ED? Elingham diagram. So therefore in the Elingham diagrams, so this cuprous oxide is nothing but Cu2O you see. If you that is observe the Elingham diagram, the line copper to Cu2O line, Cu to Cu2O line is at the top, is utmost top of the series you see, and the C to CO line and C to CO2 lies below the Cu2O. Listen here. So that is the extraction of copper from cuprous oxide. Cuprous oxide means Cu2O. So here what happens you see, we know that in the Elingham diagram, Cu to Cu2O line will be, that is at the top, and the C to CO line and C to CO2 line are below the Cu2O line. So therefore it is quite easy, it is quite natural, or it is very easy to that is reduce the cuprous oxide into copper. Cuprous oxide into what? Copper, by using that is coke as reducing agent you see. By using coke as what? Reducing agent. Therefore you see, so coke acts as a reducing agent. So you can write the equation for this you see, that is Cu2O plus C gives rise to 2Cu plus CO. But one more thing, one more concept is there you see in this that is extraction. Generally almost all the that is copper ores are sulfide ores. So therefore first all the that is sulfide ores are converted into oxide ores. So that means generally that is copper ores are sulfide. So we are not getting directly the oxide ores you see, one or two. So therefore if the sulfide ore is present, we have to convert it to oxide ore first. How actually? You know that using formula, that is 2Cu2S plus 3O2, you will be getting 2Cu2O plus 2SO2. So that means you see, so cuprous sulfide, all these sulfide ores are oxidized to oxide ore, and then these oxide ore of that is ore of copper, that is Cu2O, is then reduced by coke into copper. So this is how we can that is reduce the that is coke acts as reducing agent for the reduction of that is copper cuprous oxide into what? Copper. So in the Elingham diagram, see that is Cu to Cu2O line is above the C to CO and C to CO2 line. So that is Cu to Cu2O line is at the top of the series you see in the Elingham diagram. So therefore that is C to CO and C to CO2 lies below the Cu2O line. So therefore you see we choose the coke as reducing agent. It is very quite easy to convert, to reduce the cuprous oxide into copper by using coke as reducing agent. But you see most of the ores of copper are sulfide, therefore first they are converted to oxides and then they are reduced to copper by using coke as reducing agent, like this you see. Okay. So that completes your extraction of copper from that is cuprous oxide using Elingham diagram. So one more topic is also there in the that is copper you see. So that is the extraction of copper. Here extraction of copper from low graded ores. So this question was asked in March 2020 you see. In this examination this question has been asked. So that is extraction of copper from low graded copper ores metals. So that is low graded ores, that is from the low graded ores you see. So low graded ores also contains copper. From the low graded ores of copper, we have to extract the copper you see. How actually? So first the low graded ores are made to dissolve in sulfuric acid you see, dilute sulfuric acid. So when the copper ores are made to dissolve in sulfuric acid, all the copper goes into the dilute sulfuric acid as copper sulfate, let us say. Just here, the low graded ores containing copper is made to dissolve in dilute sulfuric acid or by treating with bacteria, so that you see all the copper will goes into the sulfuric acid as a copper sulfate. You will be getting copper sulfate, that is compound of copper which is called the copper sulfate. From the copper sulfate we can extract this copper. We can extract this copper by using reducing agents. You see, active reducing agents like zinc or iron, or even by passing hydrogen gas. That means the low-graded copper ores are made to dissolve in sulfuric acid. So that copper will goes into the sulfuric acid, dissolved. So forming copper sulfate. From the copper sulfate, you have to separate the copper by adding suitable reducing agents like active, that is zinc, iron, as well as water, hydrogen gas, or by even by passing hydrogen gas. How you can write this equation? You see. So that is, for example, CuSO4 copper sulfate plus zinc I am going to take now. So then you will be getting ZnSO4 plus Cu, that is copper is separated. And for the same CuSO4, if you add Fe, you will be getting FeSO4 plus Cu. Even if you pass the hydrogen gas, you see, that is CuSO4 plus H2, you will be getting H2SO4 plus Cu. So that this is how we can separate the copper by using suitable reducing agents. In this, you see, the question is like this. So for the extraction of copper from low graded ores, out of zinc and iron scraps, you see, the question for 2020 like this, you see. In this extraction, for the extraction of copper from low graded ores, whether you can use this zinc as well as iron, you see here. Zinc, both iron and zinc are used, but you see which one is advantageous and advisable, you see. That is the question. That is commercial question, you see. We know that, you see, iron is cheap. You know that iron is cheap, but it is costlier, you see. Costlier. This is the question asked in our examination. So that means, you see, out of zinc scraps and iron scraps, which one is more advisable and advantageous for the extraction of copper from low graded ores? You have to write what? Iron. So that means, you see, iron is taken to be cheap metal, you see. Zinc is more costlier. So therefore, you have to write iron scraps are used to reduce the copper from low graded copper ores, because you see iron is cheap, but zinc is what? More costlier. That is how you can write the answer for that. It is one mark question, you see. Okay. So that is one question asked in the examination, and it is also copper from low graded ores of copper, you see. So next, after this extraction of copper, you see, you have one more topic. Next, principles of, you see, principles of electrometallurgy, you see now, electrometallurgy. So up to this we have studied the principles of pyrometallurgy, you see. All these situations or the extractions are based on the heating process, you see. But so now we are pass on to the another topic, which is called the principles of electrometallurgy, you see. Electrometallurgy. So that is pyrometallurgy means the extraction of metals from their ores by using heat, by heating process, you see. So it is heated in blast furnace like that. But here, principles of electrometallurgy. What is electrometallurgy? Electrometallurgy is nothing but the metallurgy. It is a process of extraction of metals from their molten states, from the molten states of their salts, you see. Molten state, that means from their molten states of the salts. For example, extraction of aluminium from bauxite ore, you see. So like that, you see, principles of metallurgy, electrometallurgy. Electrometallurgy is a process of extraction of metals from their ores by the process of electrolysis, or by the process of electrolytic reduction, you see, by passing electric current into the molten state of the metal salts, you see. So therefore, that process of extraction of metals from their molten state of the metal salts by passing electricity is called the electrometallurgy. You understand? So that means by passing the electricity, we can resolve the two components present in the metal salts, you see. So by using by passing electricity, you see, we can extract the metals. So that is electrometallurgy, the process of extraction of metals from their ores, from their metal salts by passing electricity. That is called the electrolytic reduction. That is called what? Electrolytic reduction. Okay. Or electrolysis, by the process of electrolysis. Therefore, it is called the electrometallurgy. What are the principles used in electrometallurgy? You see. So, when you pass the electricity into the molten state, when the current or electricity is passed through the molten state of the metal salt, the free energy of the system decreases. You see. What is that? Free energy. What is free energy? Delta G naught. That is delta G naught will be decreased. That is NF E naught. You know the formula. So is delta G naught is equal to NF E naught. You see. That is delta G naught is nothing but free energy. Free energy of the system decreases by passing the electricity. Okay. So we will come to this afterwards. Let me explain the principles of metallurgy. You see. So what are the principles used? What are the principles used in the electrometallurgy? So electrometallurgy principles depending upon, that is, conditions. First one, nature of the metal. Nature of metal. Which metal you are going to extract? That is one. First one, nature of the metal. Second one, nature of electrolyte you are going to use. Nature of the metal, nature of the electrolyte. Next, number three, nature of the electrode you are going to put in the electrolysis. Nature of the metal you are going to extract. Nature of the electrolyte you are going to use. Third one, nature of the what? Electrode. Okay. Number four, amount of electricity. Amount of electricity or energy you are going to pass. Amount of electricity or voltage. How much of voltage you are going to supply. And number five, you see. So fifth one, that is addition of use of suitable flux. Use of suitable flux. Which flux is used for this electrolysis? So that is also very why you see. So use of suitable flux will increase the conductivity. It will increase the conductivity of the electrode, that is electrolyte. To increase the conductivity of the electrolyte, you have to put that is a suitable flux is also used. So these are the five factors on which the electrometallurgy depends. The electrometallurgy depends upon which factors? First one is nature of the metal we are going to extract, nature of the electrolyte we are going to put, nature of the electrode we are to use, and amount of electricity we are going to supply, and use of suitable flux we are to add it to what? To increase the conductivity of the electrolyte or to decrease the melting point. But in the extraction of aluminium we are going to use, that is calcium fluoride, or that is your Na3AlF6. You see, Na3AlF6 is nothing but cryolite. So cryolite is added during the extraction of aluminium to increase the conductivity and decreases the melting point. Okay. So these are the important aspects. So after that you see, now, so by using this one, you see, we have already that is extract the aluminium extraction based on one process which is called the Hall-Héroult process. You see, Hall-Héroult process. We have that is the Hall-Héroult process for the extraction of aluminium. You see, extraction of aluminium. I have explained already. Extraction of aluminium by Hall-Héroult process. So this Hall-Héroult process of extraction of aluminium involves, you see, so aluminium is extracted by the electrolysis of fused alumina. Why? Because pure alumina is a bad conductor of electricity. To make it good conductor, so bauxite ore, that is pure alumina or bauxite ore, is mixed with cryolite, so that bauxite ore gets conductivity. That means, you see, it becomes good conductor. That means to increase the conductivity and decrease the melting point, we are going to mix the bauxite ore with water, cryolite, and or calcium fluoride. And this mixture is taken in a tank. So that is it is taken in a that is steel tank, lined inside with carbon lining, which acts as that is cathode. You see, and number of graphite anodes are dipped in the that is electrolyte, and then on passing electric current, so aluminium discharges at the cathode. Okay, collects at the bottom of the that is your electrolytic cell, and the oxygen gas is liberates at anode. You see, generally gases are liberated at anode, and metals are discharged at the cathode in the electrometallurgy, you see, that is the principle. So what is the another principle, you see, generally in the electrometallurgy, gases are liberated at anode, you see. Gases are liberated at what? Anode. And metals are displaced at what? Cathode, actually. So therefore, in the extraction of aluminium, the aluminium extra, that is discharges at the cathode and collects at the bottom of the that is container or electrolyte cell, and the oxygen gas liberates at the anode. But the liberated oxygen gas will attach the carbon anodes, you see, so that all the carbon anodes are burnt away, forming CO and what? CO2. You know the equations. Okay. So according to the equation we have, that is at overall reaction is nothing but, you see, A2O3 plus 3C gives rise to 2Al plus 4Al plus 3CO2. This is the equation, you see, 2Al2O3 plus 3C, you see, A2O3 plus 3C, you will be getting 4Al plus 3CO2. It is the that is overall reaction for the extraction of aluminium. And then at anode and cathode you can write the equations, you see. At for example, cathode, I am going to write the equation first. Cathode. So for this, you see, you have to write the that is the ionization equation also. What is that? That is A2O3, you are getting 2Al3 plus 3O2 minus. It is oxide ion, it is aluminium ion. So that is at cathode. That is at cathode you will be getting, see here, Al3 plus 3 electrons, you will be getting Al. Okay, aluminium. So at the anode, you see, at the anode what happens here? That is oxygen gas attached to carbon anode, you see. So therefore you see O2 minus plus C, or you can write first C. It is in the melted state, you see, melted state. C plus O2 minus, you will be getting CO plus 2 electrons. That is carbon monoxide. At the same time, you see C plus 2O2 minus, if you write. So what happens? You will be getting CO2 plus how many electrons? 4 electrons. So this is at anode, this is at what? Cathode. I have explained in the previous class also, you see. So during this, what happens, you see, the oxygen gas liberated will attach the carbon anodes. As a result, carbon anodes burnt away, giving carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. How much of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide is produced? So depending upon the amount of aluminium that is liberated or discharged, you see. For every 1 kg of aluminium, remember in the last class I have told that, you see, for 1 kg of aluminium produced, see here, for every 1 kg of aluminium produced, 0.5 kg of anode is burned, not 0.5 gram. It is 0.5 kg of anode is burned. Anodes are burned. Just here, in the last class I told that 0.5 gram. It is not 0.5 gram. It is 0.5 kg. So that means, you see, for every 1 kg of aluminium produced here, so how much of graphite anodes are burnt? 0.5 kg of anodes are what? Burnt away. So that is how we can write the extraction of aluminium. Okay. So after that, so that is the extraction of non-metals, you see. Extraction of, so one more small extraction is there. Extraction of non-metals from oxidation process, you see, from oxidation. How actually, see, some non-metals can also be extracted by the process of oxidation, like chlorine gas, you see, chlorine gas from seawater. You know that, you see, seawater contains sodium chloride. Seawater contains what? Sodium chloride. So that is sodium chloride in water means, you see, NaCl gives rise to what is that? Na plus water, Cl minus. Water means what? H2O gives rise to H plus water, OH minus. But net reaction is nothing but, you see, what is the net reaction takes place? Net reaction, you see, you can write this net reaction as 2Cl minus plus 2H2O. You will be getting, that is Cl2 plus 2OH minus plus H2 you see. Here fluoride ions plus 2H2O, Cl2, 2OH minus and H2. Okay. So anode and cathode we can write, you see. At anode, Cl at anode, that is 2Cl minus 2 electrons gives rise to Cl2 gas. At cathode, what happens? At cathode you are going to get hydrogen gas as well as sodium hydroxide. Hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide. How actually you see? So for example, H plus 1E gives rise to water. 2H plus 2E gives rise to what? H2, hydrogen gas. And then Na plus 1E gives rise to water. Na. And Na plus OH minus gives rise to NaOH. Now at anode 2Cl minus 2 electrons chlorine gas is obtained. At cathode hydrogen ions you get hydrogen gas 2H plus 2E hydrogen gas, but Na plus 1E. So this is the Na plus 1 electron Na you see. Na plus this OH minus you will get what? NaOH. At the cathode we are getting two products. Which one? Hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide. Hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide. But on anode we will get only chlorine. So by this process you see, okay. By this process it is confirmed that you see we can extract the non-metals from by the process of oxidation. Example is chlorine gas from water, seawater. We can calculate the delta G naught for this also you see. By using the equation that is delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught you see. By if you put E naught is equal to 2.2, we are getting that is minus 2 into that is 96,500 into 2.2 volts. If you put you see, you are getting that is almost about 4 that is 424 that is 424.6 kilojoules per mole you will be getting this. So that means if you pass 2.2 volts of electricity is passed to this for the electrolysis you see, you will be getting N is equal to 2 and 96,500 coulombs of electricity 1 Faraday is equal to, okay, N is equal to number that is the valency, and you will be getting 424.6 kilojoules of per mole of delta G naught is obtained. So this is how we can calculate the delta G naught for this reaction also. So that completes your copper extraction and regarding the copper you see. Next in the next class we will pass on to the hydrometals. Okay.